What's going on, guys? Welcome back to F1 23 for My Team Career Mode Season 2, round number 15, the Las Vegas Grand Prix. It is the penultimate race of the season here in Vegas. And we know how things went last time in Vegas. We did not have a good time at all, and we can actually win the championship here this time. So this is the current Drivers' Championship standings. We are leading Hamilton by 36 points. So basically, Hamilton needs to beat us by at a minimum of 10 points to still be in the championship going into Abu Dhabi. And even if he beats us by 10 points exactly, that means that he will need to get a win and fastest lap in Abu Dhabi, and I will not be able to score at all. So really he needs to outscore us by even more than that, but technically he is still in with a chance with only getting 10 points on us. We had to go for a well, we didn't have to, but we've decided to go for a penalty on the gearbox because that gearbox is getting quite worn, so we are going to have a 5-place grid penalty for this race. And R&D is getting even closer again. We've actually slightly fallen back from McLaren, Mercedes, and Aston Martin right at the top, and then Ferrari are apparently just ahead of us, but once again we're right on top of them as well. So we're actually technically 5th on R&D now, but that just shows how close everybody is, because it is just ridiculous how close everybody is in this champion, well, in R&D anyway so far this season. So yeah, Vegas, we did not have a good time here in season 1. It was a track that I really struggled with, and honestly I didn't really enjoy. We had quite a bit of rain as well, and that did not help us at this track. So going into this one, I've actually changed my setup. I've gone for a different setup, a bit more downforce on the car. And to be honest, that did seem to help. The car drove quite a bit better than I felt it did last time. Still didn't go great in Q1 though. P15 for us. As you can see, that 5-place grid penalty will be applied. Yeah, P15, not amazing when Sonoda was up in P4, but it wasn't going to get any better because Q2, we didn't make it past. We didn't make it into Q3. Q2 would be as far as we get once again in Vegas, and that is now it's two Las Vegas Q2 knockouts in a row, but it's 2 Q2 knockouts in a row in general because we didn't make it through to Q3 in Portugal last time around, and yeah, we haven't made it again here in Las Vegas. So this was my first run in Q2. Now my second run in Q2, I was about a 10th up coming into the final sector. That, if I kept that going, I would have got through to Q3. But unfortunately I made a little bit of a mistake. I'll tell you when it happened, because at this point in time on my other run I was about a 10th up. So we come into this sector here, we got it good through this part. That bit is a pretty tricky corner, because if you get too much on the curb the car gets unsettled. If you go too wide you almost hit the wall on the exit, so you've just got to get it right, and I got it pretty well this time. Now going down the straight, very long straight, DRS open, not really much more you could do. It's coming, and we actually go purple this time through that sector. It was coming into this corner here, where on my next run, about a 10th up here, but then I went too deep into there, got a little bit on the curb on the right, that got the back end out a little bit too much, and that lost me all my time. So if it wasn't for that corner, which is literally one of the last corners on the track, I probably would have got into Q3 because it was very close. As you can see here, we ended up P11, only about a 10th or so behind Verstappen actually in P10. So it's P11 with a 5-place grid penalty. That is going to be P16, I guess. So yeah, not amazing. To be honest, it was better qualifying than last time in Vegas, but still not making it through to Q3.
Tickets for this one sold out in a matter of seconds, some for as much as $1 million. There's a massive interest in Formula One in the United States, so it's no surprise we have a third race in America. Welcome to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. So a lap of Las Vegas comprises 3.8 miles and 3 straights, but our drivers won't be at top speed down them today as it's very wet out there. It does rain in the desert, sometimes, and now it poses a question of bravery and of strategy. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Gasly, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Russell, Ocon, Verstappen, Bottas, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Perez, Doohan, Davies, Albon, Sargent, Joe, Liam Lawson, Magnussen and Nick de Vries. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me once again for coverage of today's race is none other than the great Anthony Davidson. They've been involved in a number of costly incidents lately. That's got to affect their mindset going into this race.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Alright, so here we go. It is raining for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. This is not what we wanted. Lights are out very quickly and we're underway here. But yeah, there's rain. There's rain in Vegas. This is not what we wanted. But we've had a pretty good start up alongside Sergio Perez. As we go into turn 1, we're going to be side by side with him. And I think we're just about gonna get past him into the next corner. He's just still there on the outside, but we've managed to get past up into P14, so 2 positions made off the start here, which is a pretty good start to be fair. But yeah, the rain, it's not supposed to be heavy and it's not gonna last very long, but it's not what we wanted. It is not what we wanted. We had rain here last season and we really did not cope very well. We've got a higher downforce setup this time though, so I'm a little bit more optimistic, but still not great. But yeah, we've got up to P14 already through the first sector here. So that is not a terrible start, I'm going to be honest. Not a terrible start. To be honest, we don't need to do amazing today. Because, like I said, Hamilton needs to outscore us by 10 points. Even if he gets the full 25 on us and we get none, we're still going to be 11 points ahead of him. I mean, if he gets 26, 10 points ahead of him at worst in the championship. So really, it doesn't matter massively, but I'm just hoping we can at least salvage something from this race, just for the sake of it, really. We now don't know where to brake into this corner. Very difficult figuring out where to brake with all the cars ahead of me and all the spray. We braked quite late, but that's fine. We've managed to keep our position. We couldn't quite go for a dive on signs ahead anyway, as Lando Norris crosses the line. It was a McLaren 1-2 again here. I mean, McLaren are just showing some mighty pace at the moment in those cars, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. As we have, who is this? I think this is Lance Stroll going for a move on Max Verstappen. Yes, that is something you don't hear very often, but Lance Stroll has gotten past Verstappen in that Aston Martin. So yeah, good work from him. We are still stuck behind Sainz and Alonso. We've actually got a run on Sainz now, so we're showing that we've actually got some better pace here than I was expecting. We've gotten past Sainz. We're actually looking at a move on Alonso as well, because he is slow down this straight. We're going to go side by side down this big straight here. We're just going to get ahead of him. I think he is now going to come under fire from Carlos Sainz. Yes, he is, which will help us going to the next corner, but we brake way too early, and Alonso fires himself back up the inside, and we're going to jockey for position here, but he's going to get back past us. I just had absolutely no idea where to brake, and Alonso just came shooting back up the inside. So we're going to lose that position to him, but we are quicker down the straight than the Aston Martin, even though we have a higher downforce setup than last time. We still seem pretty good on the straight, so that is good. We can't get the position back yet though. My teammate Yuki Tsunoda is currently holding up the two Mercedes, which is good for me, because of course Hamilton's the main one we're fighting with in the championship, or the only one we're fighting now, and it's going to be 3 wide with my teammate in the middle of the two Mercedes as they go down this big straight. Hamilton trying to get ahead of his teammate and of Yuki Tsunoda. They're still 3 wide going through this section here. It's a very tight section to go 3 wide, but they're still doing it. Massive battle here. It looks like Russell had to back off a little bit there, and it's now Hamilton versus, Tsunoda's had to back off. It's now Hamilton versus Russell. Russell's managed to get back ahead of his teammate, so that's my teammate Yuki Tsunoda falling back 2 positions there behind the Mercedes. We've now caught up to Valtteri Bottas, who's a little bit out of position here in his Alfa Romeo. We've We've got a lot of speed down the straight. We're going to go to the inside here. Purple middle sector, absolutely flooring it with ERS. We get the braking a little bit better, actually a bit too late on the brakes this time into that corner, but we managed to just about round it back up, and we're now ahead of Valtteri Bottas up into P12. So making decent progress this race. Esteban Ocon is also trying to make his way through, and he's now found himself behind my teammate Yuki Tsunoda, who's falling back a little bit here. I'm going to be honest. Ocon now past Tsunoda. The Alpines are towards the bottom end of this grid, although everybody is so close. But yeah, not looking great for Tsunoda at the moment. He's in a decent position still though. Lap 7, and we're coming into the pits because the track is drying out, although we're going to have to double stack with Yuki, and I think it's a slow stop for him because we had a bit of a gap to him, but we're still going to have to sit behind him. But it's a super quick stop by my team. It's a 1.9, which I didn't even think was possible. It's like 2.3 to 2.4 is what it says, but we got a 1.9 second stop there, although it was still a little bit slow because we had to wait for Yuki a little bit. But we've come out in P13, pretty much everybody's come in. I think there might be 1 or 2 cars that have stayed out for another lap, but yeah, that's not too bad. Oscar Piastri he did come in, but he had to double stack with his teammate. They were running 1-2, so he fell behind a couple of cars. He's just gotten himself past George Russell, who has just about managed to stay ahead of now Charles Leclerc. So we've seen a few of the kind of second drivers in a team fall back a little bit. One of them, by the way, is Lewis Hamilton, who was behind Russell and came in for the double stack. There's more battling going on here, as this is, I believe, Max Verstappen again, is it? Battling with Esteban Ocon. Side by side here they go through this corner. Ocon doing a very good job. Gasly doing an even better job though. He's even further up the road as Hamilton and Alonso go for a dive on Ocon here as well. Verstappen's managed to get past. This is now now that Verstappen's run away, it's kind of a 4-car battle now. Hamilton trying to make the most of these moves here and get up ahead because of that pit issue he had. Alonso though is just about gone ahead of Hamilton, but now Hamilton is going to switch to the outside, go round the outside of Alonso, gets that move done. Now Alonso's under fire from Ocon. This is an epic battle going on, but Alonso manages to hang on. Charles Leclerc now in a battle with Oscar Piastri and George Russell for P3. You might have just seen an Alpine go past. That's Pierre Gasly. He's now up into P2 in the Alpine. I don't know where that's come from, but Alpine now in P2. Piastri trying to get back onto the podium after having to double stack with his teammate. He does get back ahead of Russell and into effectively now P3 for Oscar Piastri. We are now right on the back of Max Verstappen as Perez and Sainz are battling just ahead. Perez is on the soft compound tyres. We're on the mediums. Verstappen there a little bit slow. We've just got past him. He's on the hard compound tyres, and Sainz is also on the mediums with us. So it might be a bit more of a comparable driver there. But we're looking pretty good as Alonso goes for a move on Verstappen behind us. Alonso is another one, by the way, who I believe had to double stack with his teammate, so has fallen back. We now have Perez, the car ahead of us. He may be on the soft tyres, but is struggling a little bit for pace, where we're basically pushing him through the final corner. So we go up the inside into turn 1, gives us a bit of a space up the inside there. So we're going to take that opportunity, but we're going to be side by side around this long right hand corner, a corner I struggle with, but we get it perfectly this time. We're going to get DRS as well and power past Perez, and now we'll chase after Sainz. We are, I think, now just about in the points, as this battle for third place at the moment really heating up. They're catching up to Gasly up ahead, but there's actually now 4 of them all battling it out like crazy. Tsunoda's actually now got into this battle, but it's Piastri versus Russell, these two going side by side. Epic battles for these two at the moment. You can see Gasly there a bit further ahead, trying to keep that P2 position, but these two are absolutely going hammer and tong. Russell manages to stay in P3 at the moment, as we are just about staying behind Sainz here. We're doing a decent job actually. The pace isn't terrible, but oh no, bottom right, that's an engine in red. That is a mechanical failure. It's our first of the season, and it comes at a time we could win the championship. The AI took control of my car and just plummeted it into a wall. but that is us out. That's us out of the Vegas Grand Prix. We were looking like we might actually be able to score points here, but we have our first mechanical failure of Season 2, and it comes at a time where we could win the championship, but it all depends on where Hamilton finished this race. Did he manage to finish P5 or above? We'll have to wait and see, but for us, that's the Las Vegas Grand Prix over and done with.
In the heart of the Nevada desert, they take the checkered flag to win the Las Vegas Grand Prix. They've hit the jackpot and will be celebrating long into the night. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium.
Well, it's another win for Lando Norris. It's a 1-2 this time for McLaren. So Oscar Piastri back on the podium again. I think this might be his third podium in a row or something. He's been very impressive lately, but so has McLaren. And it is, I can't remember who, was it Russell? No, it was Gasly. Pierre Gasly manages to get third on the podium. What a result for him and Alpine. That's actually his second podium of the season. He had a P2 finish in the opening round in Saudi Arabia, so good work from Alpine there to get Gasly on the podium, but a 1-2 for McLaren. We don't see Hamilton there, and he's not even in the top 10. Tsunoda and it manages P4, so good result for him. What's happened to Hamilton here? He's also had a mechanical DNF. What? How does this happen? Neither of us, neither myself or Hamilton, have had a mechanical failure all season, and we both get one in the same race. But do you know what that means? You do know what that means. He had to outscore us by 10 points. He's outscored us by no points, which means we are the Drivers' World Champion for Season 2. Still 36 points ahead of Hamilton. He cannot beat us now in the final round, so we've got one more round to go this season, but he can't catch us. We are the Drivers' World Champions. What a result that was. Little bit of an anticlimactic end to this championship in a way, but it is what it is, I guess. Yeah. I guess it is what it is, whatever. We win the championship. Constructors, Mercedes are out in front. I don't know if they've quite, I think they have pretty much won it by this point. Don't think we can come back from that, but that's fine. We don't really care about the constructors anyway. But there we go. Chris Davies with the trophy there in the Drivers' Championship. We win the Drivers' Championship in Season 2. What a season it's been. We've had ups, we've had downs. It's been mostly ups, to be honest. We've been very lucky this season, apart from today, with the car performance. And yeah, we come home with the Drivers' Championship in Season 2. So there we go. That is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.